Hello, good morning. You're watching Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Vinny Motiwala. With me is Shrishti Sharma. Shrishti, a very good morning to you. Both of us twinning with the markets today.
Yeah.
Surely a recovery that's seen in the market. 5/10 to 6/10% of recovery at one point of time we saw coming in for the Nifty. But a lot of updates that's come in on the political front today as well. Let's not forget that a lot of ministers have taken their portfolios, have taken charge. So we have Dr. S. Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, taking up and charge of his portfolio. Ashwini Vaishnav, Railway, INB, as well as IT Minister, taking charge of that. And you can see all those visuals on your screen. Bhupendra Yadav, Environment Minister, Piyush Goyal, Commerce and Industry Minister, Giriraj Singh, Textile Minister, Hardeep Singh Puri, holding on to his Petroleum and Natural Gas Minister, as well as M.L. Khattar, Power, Housing and Urban Affairs Minister. All these ministers have taken charge today. We can see more updates coming in. Yesterday, the portfolios are assigned to them, and that is what we're seeing today. NDA 3.0. Those are your ministers as of now who have already taken charge. But let's take a look at what the market is doing quickly, because yes, like I said, we're seeing a recovery coming in the market right now. The Nifty is managing to hold on to good gains of almost 0.2% off the day's highest point, but nonetheless had picked up the momentum that we saw. A bit of a fall, and after that, that momentum in terms of gains is what we've seen. Sensex 76,600 is what it's managing to hold on to, up 0.1% in trade. Mid cap, let's pull that up because that seems like a clear outperformer there, right? 0.8% of gain for the Nifty mid cap. Small cap also managing to hold on to some bit of a gain and outperformance versus benchmark indices. A slight dip that we're seeing in the market right now, but let's keep an eye out on that. Bank also has seen a recovery from the day's lowest point, from the negative move to the positive side. So keeping an eye out on that. And today we have Realty, Nifty Realty, which is managing to hold on to very, very strong gains. So keeping an eye out on all the sectors, as well as GMR Airports, IRCTC, ONGC, Container Corp, all these names surely buzzing in trade, with some of these other names like Hoodco, we are seeing other housing finance, all of them also managing to hold on to gains today.
Well, yes, Winnie, and you were just talking about the ministers taking in charge, and the government is also in full action, because just after the Modi 3.0 announcement on our policy radar, the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, wherein Prime Minister-led cabinet has approved assistance towards constructing 3 crore rural and urban houses under the scheme. Let's bring in my colleague Snehi Shah to understand the impact of this move and what it means for the housing industry, with a special focus on the affordable segment. Snehi, take it away.
Well, yes. So, in the first cabinet meeting under the Modi 3.0 government, which was held yesterday, the NDA government has announced the expansion of the PMAY, or the Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana scheme, to 3 crore more urban as well as rural households. Now, under this scheme, a total of 4.21 crore houses have already been completed for eligible families over the last 10 years, and unchanged home loan rates, right now we saw that the repo rates have been kept unchanged, coupled with this extension of the scheme, may induce new vibrancy in the affordable housing space as well. Now, this comes from ANAROC. Then remember, in February, all the way back to the interim budget, Nirmala Sitharaman had announced the construction of 2 crore more houses under the PMAY Grameen scheme, the rural side of the scheme, for the next 5 years. Now, the interim budget also indicated that the mid-segment housing sector would witness a targeted action, and this announcement that came yesterday in the first cabinet meeting is exactly that. And policy alignment would also lead to further growth of India's housing sector, is what ANAROC believes. And now, shifting focus to the urban side of the scheme, which is the PMAY urban, there has been a demand of 1.12 crore affordable houses, and the government has already made a sanction for 1.18 crore affordable houses, which means there are enough sanctions on the urban side for houses under this scheme. Now, what's interesting to know is that affordable housing sales, which is homes priced under 40 lakh rupees, have fallen from 37% of all the total home sales back in Q1 of 2019 to just 20% in Q1 of 2024, coming in at 26,545 units. So, we have seen a slight bit of a decline coming in when it comes to the entire affordability space, but experts believe that rates being kept steady, and this extension of the scheme is going to create some attraction in the entire affordable housing space, and lots of financiers as well as lots of affordable developers on the real estate side stand to gain from this rule that has been passed yesterday, or the scheme that has been extended yesterday. So our eyes will be on all of those stocks which are buzzing in today's trading session.
absolutely. All eyes on that extension of the scheme. Surely we're seeing them see a bit of an up move. But to talk more about that today, let's bring on board our experts for today. We have Hemen Kapadia joining in with us from Choksey Securities, while we have Shahina Mukadam on the fundamentals, independent analyst, joining in with us. A very good morning, and thank you so much both of you all for joining in with us. Shahina, surely it seems positive, extension of the scheme coming in, positive for all these companies. How are you judging it fundamentally? And what is it that you are picking up from this space? We have other housing finance, Awas financiers, Aptus value. What is looking attractive right now?
See, so we all agree that the supply for affordable housing is increasing, with the government giving it a good push in terms of sanctions, in terms of the number of new constructs that they are planning over the medium term. Also, as we see that affordable housing is interest sensitive, and I believe interest rates are likely to bottom out maybe by this year end. So that could be another positive. And in terms of the companies that are offering finance, you could have Woodco, you could have PNB Housing, and some of the other smaller ones that you mentioned. Of course, PNB Housing, in terms of valuation, as your analyst also pointed out, is most attractive in the price to book ratio. It's about 1.3, 1.4 times. Also, if you see the last year, FY24, they reported very healthy profit growth. It was almost 50% on a YOY annualized basis. So I think in terms of valuation growth, PNB Housing, in my view, looks like the topic in this space as of now. Woodco, of course, is a government-owned PSU with government owning about 75% stake. So there, the valuations are a bit stretched in my view. It's about 3.3, 3.4 times. But this is largely because of the sharp rally we saw in the last 1 year. So the 1 year rally being so sharp, valuations being expensive, of course, it's a large PSU. So it would do well if you're holding it for the longer term. But in my view, in the shorter or medium term, it will see some bit of price correction. I would say time correction in terms of the stock consolidating for some time. But that would remain good for the longer term.
That's the fundamental take coming in on all these stocks related to the affordable housing segment. But Hemen, very good morning and thank you so much for your time. Wanted your take on the technical front, because for today, after the announcement, we are seeing great moves on stocks like Woodco, Awas Financiers, even PNB Housing, and a stock like LIC Housing is also seen to be buzzing. But any of the stock that stands out for you? Because I could spot there are a couple of them are already giving breakouts, but how much do you trust them at this point in time?
A very good morning to you. Thank you for having me on the show. It's always a pleasure. Like you said, some of them have moved quite a lot. Even Woodco that you spoke about, I mean, one just gets a feeling that you've had a phenomenal move. There's nothing wrong with the stock, but I'm not sure if the risk-reward ratio is in favor of going fresh longs over here. LIC Housing Finance that you mentioned looks positive, Srishti. One gets a feeling that we've been consolidating over here for some time, and that some time has been, we are in the beginning of the month, or maybe not exactly halfway, but this is the 5th month that LIC Housing has been consolidating, roughly in a range between 560 on the downside and 680 on the upside, and we are just over there. We're on the cusp of breakout. So from a few stocks that you mentioned, I believe LIC Housing Finance looks pretty interesting, saying we're almost breaking out, and if the breakout does come through, then we can expect anything between a 12 to 14% upside over the next couple of months. So this stock looks promising, and it made a base. So the risk-reward ratio and the stop loss are relatively very clear from that point of view.
Right, Hemen, and surely keeping an eye out on all those stocks there. But yes, that was all about those affordable housing side, which may see a pickup given the extension of the scheme. But on that note, we are going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere, because we'll be back and we'll be taking all your stock-related queries after the break.
Welcome back. You're still tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. And viewers, it's the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries, and you can write to us on a WhatsApp number that is flashing on the top of your screen, as well as you can also connect with us on our social media handles of ET Now on X as well as Facebook pages. And we'll try to get as many queries as possible answered by our experts. To answer the same, we have Hemen as well as Shahina with us. And let me kickstart the first query that I have coming in from Venkati. And Hemen, if you can help him with to invest 4 lakh rupees for a period of next 1 year, but he is quite sector specific right now. He's looking for some counters in the power space. So any stock that stands out from the power space for you right now where he can invest around 4 lakh rupees?
Actually, every power stock worth its salt is up and up significantly. This PFC, REC, I mean, you look all over. So frankly speaking, I would suggest that if he's going to put all his eggs in one basket, I would suggest at least he spread his purchases. I would like something like a Tata Power. We're at around 443 right now, Shishti. So I would say spread your purchases. Markets have been volatile for one reason or the other. So we've been in this range between 370 and 460 for the past 4 months. So Tata Power for 1 year or maybe even 2 years is something that I like. 440, 420, 390, 3 support levels. I don't mean to say 390 is coming as of now, but I believe that if you're putting a specific amount of money, make it something like an SIP. Don't put everything at one go. So Tata Power would be my pick for a year and maybe even more.
Shahina, this next query we have is from Dinesh from Noida. They want your fundamental view on CDSL and BSC for the long term. Which one is looking better to invest right now?
Well, both look good for the medium term. And I would say that CDSL has a very strong balance sheet. It's got a good upside from here. BSC has done very well going forward. You could see some bit of earnings impact in the shorter term, but if you see the medium to longer term, the fundamentals are very strong. So I would say take divided between the two, 50% each.
Shahina, once again coming to you, since Hemen already talked about his top bet in the power sector, but the one company associated to the same is NTPC. Shahina, what's your view on this? Because Bharadwaj is already holding 850 shares. His average price is 210 rupees. Wants to know, can he buy more at current market price? And he's wished to stay invested for the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah, I think we can add more. Where there is a bit of correction in terms of the overall sentiment for PSU stocks, I still think that this NTPC could give you a decent return if you're holding it for the medium term. He can buy it. He can keep a stop loss of close to about maybe 325 rupees, and then look for a target of closer to 420, 425 rupees. So yes, he can buy. And fundamentally also the stock looks pretty good.
Hemen, we have Subramaniam from Chennai who's holding Manappuram Finance, 35 shares at a price of 118 rupees per share. Should they book profit at the current levels, and what is the view for the short term?
I would suggest a hold when we just overcome the 55-day exponential moving average. Oscillators have turned by. There is a very strong resistance level at 180. He can, once again, the shorter term view. So I think he can wait at 188. So he can wait till 188. If 188 gets taken out, the doors open for 202, but safely 188 is where you can wait for in a shorter term.
Once again coming to you, because Mitu from Kolkata wants a technical view for the short to medium term on 2 counters. Firstly is Biocon. The stock is indeed on roll, where Mitu is holding 500 shares. Buy price is 320 rupees. Good time to book out profits or continue to hold on is the first query. Second one is L&T Finance. She is holding 1000 shares. Buy price is 150 rupees. Your view on both of these?
Biocon Shishti remain the hold. The only caveat is it needs to sustain about 330 from weekly closing point of view. I assume it will. Technical setup has turned positive. We are in a short, medium and long-term uptrend. So hold. First target is 367, second target is 385 and the last one 410. And I think it might surprise on the upside. So very clear hold. Unless he needs the money, I don't think one needs to exit. And the other stock you mentioned?
Her buy price was 120 rupees. L&T Finance.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah. L&T Finance has been consolidating for 5 months now. A very strong support at 145, but it seems like it's like a correction in a bull market. So I would suggest a hold. We would need a weekly closing above 175 to open the doors for 190 plus, but the setup seems positive. I don't see any worries. One can hold.
Okay, this next query, Shahina, is for you from Girdhar from Bangalore. Now, yes, we do have FMCG which was under stress, but now given the NDA 3.0 and people expecting the focus coming for more of the FMCG side, spending side, social side, what's your view on Nestle? Because they're holding Nestle at a price of 2,650 rupees per share. Should they expect brighter days for Nestle India?
Yeah, Nestle is a steady performer, will continue to do well. So if you have it in your portfolio, there is no reason why you should exit. So you continue holding.
All right, moving on to the next query then, and this one is coming in on TexRail. Shahina, your view on this one, where Sushila is holding 270 shares, buy price is 182 rupees. Is that a hold or exit? TexRail.
Textile, Textile definitely has a strong balance sheet, good order book position, and I would suggest that one continues to hold going forward.
Okay, let's move on to the next query. This one is Hemen for you. We have Venkat Ramani from Bangalore who's talking about CESC. They are holding it at a price of 121 rupees per share. For a 12-month period now, should they continue to hold, maybe look to add some bit more, or what is the view here?
I would be slightly more comfortable with the hold. If I were to suggest an add, it would be sub 136. So somewhere between 130 and 132 would be a comfort level for me to add. A clear hold. Consolidation has been going on for 6th month in a row now. We need a weekly close above 155. That opens for a fresh all-time high and an upside of possibly 180. So looks good. If you want to add on a decline, otherwise hold for the rest.
All right, moving on, and Shahina, since we are seeing that all these liquor counters are doing very well, viewer named Satyaveni wants to know that any of the two best stocks to enter for the liquor space and any entry levels as well, if we can suggest him with, since we have already seen great moves in all of these stocks, be it United Breweries, United Spirits, and the rest as well.
Well, my top picks would be Radico Khaitan and some distilleries. Radico, of course, has done well, but still, I think you can buy it. If you buy it close to about 1,500 levels, will give you a decent return. If you're holding it for the medium to longer term, you could even have a target of closer to 1,850 odds over the next 1 odd year. And some distilleries, of course, they have capacity expansion. Fundamentally, it looks good. So that's another stock which you can add at any dips that you get.
Keep an eye out on those liquor stocks in the view from Shahina. But let's move on and talk about Shahina. This one more queries for you. It's on Borosil Renewables and Tanla platform. We have Vishal from Dubai who's holding Borosil Renewables at a price of 623 and Tanla platforms at a price of 1,105 rupees per share. For the long term, what's the view on this one? Should they hold on both these stocks or maybe look to shift to any other name?
Borosil Renewables, I would suggest a shift. If you see the numbers, they were extremely disappointing for FY24. The capacities, that they have put up, they have actually expanded, but at the same time, there's a lot of new competition coming in, which has actually affected their margins and profitability, and valuations are extremely expensive. So I would suggest you shift out from Borosil. There are other renewables you can look at. In terms of the second one you said was Tanla, if I'm correct. Tanla, I think the management structure has strengthened the overall business. The Tata Group is in it and the company is doing well. It's a turnaround, so you have to give it time. But I think it's one stock you can continue to hold for the medium to longer term.
Right. Hemen, this next query we have is from Rohit from Pune, and they want to know on L&T. They're holding L&T at a price of 3,480 rupees per share. Could they expect the target of 3,800 anytime soon for L&T?
I think so, because we've been, once again, many of these stocks I spoke about have been in a range. L&T is not an exception. 6.5 months. Range is between 32 on the downside and 3860 on the upside. So frankly speaking, 3800 isn't very far away. It's just that there is a congestion area at around 3695. That gets taken out, we come to 38 and a jiffy. So yes, answering his question, very much possible.
Right, moving on to the next query, and Shahina, your take on IRDA. Vishal from Mumbai is holding 20,000 shares and his buy price is 110 rupees. Good to hold on or book out the profits right now, since after the phenomenal run-up that we have already seen in this particular stock, or do you believe that it's a good hold, and any expected targets for the stock price maybe in 2025?
See, actually, IRDA, the valuations are expensive. You know, for a NBFC, it's, of course, it's one of the stronger ones. So what I would suggest, because his buy price is very attractive, he can take part profits or then continue holding for the longer term. If he's holding it for the longer term, then maybe he should add it at, he can add at lower levels, closer to maybe about 160, 170, if at all you get that correction. Otherwise, hold it, and you could look at a price of close to about 220 over the 1 year that you mentioned.
Okay, let's move on to the next query that we have, and this query is on Man Infra. Suchitra from Bangalore, Hemen wants to know whether she can look to add Man Infra at current levels.
We walked into a correction of a greater degree, Vinny. So I wouldn't say it's a bad idea, but some more patience is needed, because we've had a move from 65 to 245 to 48. This is the 5th month of a correction. It could take another 6 to 8 weeks more of a time and price retracement. So yes, I think one can buy, but you need to be prepared for some more time where it is going to trend more sideways and then start moving on.
Okay, sure. Keeping an eye on Man Infra over there, but yeah. Welcome back, and you're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. Let's keep it going with all the stocks related queries that you all have sent us, and this one is from Fred, and it's a long-term query, Shahina. This one is for you. Venus Pipes, how is it looking at like Venus Pipes and EID Parry? Is it a good time to enter these stocks for the long term?
Well, they do look interesting. If you're entering at current levels also, you could enter into Venus Pipes even at current levels and look for targets close to about 2,400 over the medium term. Demand, of course, is increasing with affordable housing demand going up, as we had discussed earlier in the show. And the second one you mentioned was, sorry, I didn't get the name.
And is what we were talking about, and as a stock, and Venus Pipes.
I didn't get it actually.
EID Parry.
Oh, EID Parry. Yeah, of course. EID Parry does look good at current levels. Also, I think one can look to enter it. If you're entering it at current levels, then maybe you could look at a target close to about 800, 820 over the medium term.
All right, moving on to the next query, and this query that I got is coming in from N. Verma. And Shahina, he wants a long-term view on Petronet LNG. He bought this counter at a price of 290 rupees. So what's the view? Should he continue holding this particular stock? As well as, what's your view on IDFC First Bank? His buy price is 83 rupees in this particular stock.
At at current levels and the current fundamentals, both of the stocks, Petronet LNG as well as IDFC First Bank, look like decent holds. Petronet LNG, one needs to keep a stop loss actually, because while current performance is very good and LNG terminals, they are doing pretty well in terms of capacity utilization, the investments that they are talking about in the medium to longer term look like a bit risky. So one needs to keep keep tracking the stock on regular basis, but as of now it's a hold. IDFC First Bank also, we've seen a consolidation in the stock. Valuations are very attractive, and growth, I believe, in terms of credit will pick up over the next 1 year. Interest rates are bottoming out, so I would say that both stocks are hold for the medium to longer term.
Next talk is and query is on Britannia as well as Federal Bank Hemen. We have the viewer who's holding Britannia at a price of 4,798 rupees and Federal Bank at a price of 153 rupees per share. Should they continue to hold both these stocks or maybe book out some profit?
No, Britannia is a clear hold. When the entire FMCG pack has staged a astounding recovery, and Britannia probably led the move. And we posted a fresh all-time high last month. It's in an uptrend on all-time theme, so I would not be unduly worried about Britannia. I would please hold. And the other stock you mentioned?
Federal Bank at 153 rupees is what they bought the stock at.
Okay, so this is also a clear hold. It has been in a very linear uptrend for the last 4 years, Federal Bank, and it continues to do so. So it's a clear hold. 170 close, a close of a 170 is, I believe, around the corner. That happens, we open the doors for an upside to 190. Mechanical indicators are supporting the move. Higher tops, higher bottoms, moving averages. It's ticking all bullish boxes, Vinny. So hold.
Shahina, the next query that I have is coming in on Swaraj Engines, a company associated with M&M, and Mayank Saraf is already holding 300 shares. His buy price is 2,000 rupees. He's already sitting at a decent profits in this one, but can he add more, keeping the next 2 years in view? And what's your overall view on this particular stock?
Definitely it's a small cap stock. Looks interesting. He's invested in a decent price. He can also add. I believe if he adds at current levels, he can still look at a target of close to about 2,800 in the medium to maybe 6 months to 1 year time.
Sure. Keep an eye out on Swaraj Engines over there. Shahina, actually, this is one more long-term query that is on, come from Shashank from UP. They want to know on IRB Infra as well as Motherson Sumi. For the long term, is it a good bet to make right now for a 5-year time period?
Well, I would say IRB Infra, one should look at, if at all you want to enter, infrastructure will do well over the medium to longer term, and they do have good projects, but I would not enter at current levels. So if you want to enter, you enter at much lower levels. If you're holding, you can also take part profits. And the second one that you were asking was?
IRB
and Motherson Sumi.
Yes.
Yeah. Motherson Sumi, yeah, things are looking up. Things are looking up for the company. They're reducing their debt. The numbers also are pretty decent. So there again, I think that if you want to buy, it's better to buy it at slightly lower levels. In fact, in the same group, I prefer the Motherson wiring. So I prefer that company if you're buying it right away. But otherwise, better to buy Motherson at slightly lower levels for the medium to longer term.
One more, one of the other viewers were also referring to your preference between Motherson Sumi as well as Motherson Sumi wiring. So we hope that this, your answer is applicable to him as well, that you continue to like Motherson Sumi wiring at this point in time. But moving on to the next query, and this one is coming for you, Hemen, wherein Carol wants to make a fresh investment in 2 counters, but she is unsure about the buy price, whether or not is this a good time to buy. Vodafone Idea is the first stock that she is looking out for, and the other stock is Nykaa. So in the short term, what to expect from both of these names, as well as good time to enter?
Vodafone Well, yes and no. Vodafone, frankly speaking, there isn't much to lose at this point in time, and but little bit of a caveat. Some patience, significant patience needed. Markets have gone uh, from where to where. Vodafone Idea still remains range bound for the last 5 years and counting. Once again, like I said, not much to lose. Downside appears limited. 17, 1840 are resistance levels on the upside, above which things should improve. Support is 15 and 13.80. I would keep a stop loss at 12. So yes, not an ideal stock, but it is relatively risky because it's gone nowhere. I don't think it's going to lose much. Nika is sideways for quite some time. I mean, this is the seventh month in a row where Nika is between 140 and 190. The bias on the short term is now turning positive. Oscillators are improving. It's overcome the 55-day exponential moving average. And I believe it's showing the first technical green shoots on the weekly chart. So I believe Nika, once its short-term picture is improving, above 180, the medium-term picture also starts looking better. So this looks positive, promisingly positive.
Right. Okay, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of his stock-related queries.
Welcome back to Buy Now Sell Now. Let's keep it going with all your stock related queries then. And the next query that I have, Hemen, is coming in from Anu from Gurgaon. She is holding 1100 shares of NBCC. The stock is doing pretty well today. And Anu's buy price is 126 rupees. In the short term, is this a good level to like book out profits, or should she continue to hold on?
Actually, technically, no evidence to suggest a book out. There's no negative divergence, there are no crossover shells, there are no levels breaking. So, three basic precepts by which you would not recommend a sell or book profit. Close above 155 is just around the corner. That happens, we have seen 170. Steady stock, absolutely no sell signals yet. In fact, this weekend, I'm saying this weekend because Friday weekly charts end. I think a close up of 157 on this Friday will mean additional green shoots on the weekly chart. Clear hold.
Okay. Shahina, we have RK who wants to know for LG Equipments, ABFRL and Galaxy Surfactant. All these three stocks they're holding, but they're making a loss here right now. What is the view that you have on them for the long term?
Well, I think of all the three, I would prefer the second one, which is ABFRL. And I would suggest that, that is one of the stock that is likely to do better compared to the other two. Surfactants, there I believe Galaxy Surfactants may see some bit of consolidation over the medium term because we still see some issues in the overall chemical sector. But if you're buying it, you can buy it at lower levels if you want to add. And the first stock was?
LG Equipment and Galaxy Surfactant.
Yeah, Galaxy surfactants are better to buy it at lower levels. And LG Equipments, I would believe that actually I'm not tracking the stock, so I will let it pass.
All right, moving on to the next query, and this query is for you, Shahina, wherein Krish is already holding M&M 150 shares, buy price is 1700 rupees. Krish is already sitting at a decent profits, but good time to book out profits or continue to hold on for the long term, as well as he also wants to invest in one more stock where he's looking for a fresh investment and wants to stay for the next 3 years. So any of your top recommendations at this point?
M&M, I think you should continue holding. The tractor sector had underperformed for them in the last year, but I think the good monsoons, that segment also is likely to do well. So M&M is a hold at current levels. And if you want to add another, let us say, medium-sized company, you could look at either pharma or IT. I think the defensive sector will do well. So in IT, you could either go in for even TCS or Infosys. In pharmaceuticals, you can look for something like a Cipla or an Aurobindo.
Okay, keep an eye out on that. But yeah, you can see on at the side of your screen, we do have Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who is taking a charge, and the portfolio that's assigned to him, this time is Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, as well as Ministry of Rural Development. So yes, you can see that he's there, he's taking charge. As of now, he's bowing down his head to God before he actually takes charge. But yes, we will watch out for what is happening there. And we do have someone else also who's been taking charge. Okay, we have Jeju who's taking charge as well. So yes, we have a lot of we have updates that are coming in, and we are seeing that all these ministers have been taking charge. A lot of them have happened all through the day, and Kiren Rijiju is also taking charge. He's the Ministry of Parliamentary Affairs as well as Minister of Minority Affairs. So a lot that is happening in terms of action, in terms of ministers taking charge. Last evening we had seen all of them had been assigned their portfolio, and that's what is happening. All of them taking the first move for NDA 3.0. Keep an eye out on that. Okay, let's keep it going then with queries then. And the next query that we have is coming from, okay, the viewer has not mentioned the name, but Hemen, this one is for you. So yes, this one is on Astra DM as well as Galaxy Surfactant. They want your short-term view on any of these. What is it looking like in the next 6 months? What should they be doing?
Okay, Astra DM is a slightly mixed bag, Vinny. We've had a phenomenal move. We walked into a correction of a greater degree. Having said that, a short-term bottom has been made where we've commenced a bounce back, a recovery to retrace the fall from 55 to 310. About 380 will probably go to 425. Medium-term picture is oversold. So Astra DM looks like a recovery. The bigger picture has been muddied. The setup has not spoiled, but yeah, short-term, medium-term, a bounce is underway, and one can expect upsides 380, 415 for Astra DM. Galaxy surfactants has been moving sideways. There is no trending bias, hasn't been for last 14 or 15 months or so. Range 20 to 50 on the downside and 2,950 on the upside. So I would say short-term bias has turned positive. The medium-term bias is turning positive. Longer term is still sideways. So not much to lose. Stock looks promising on the short to medium term, but we have to give it some time to see whether this converts into positives on the longer term chart. But short to medium term, things are looking up.
Short to medium term, things are looking up is what we can see. But we do have JP Nadda also, who is just taking seat there. He will be taking charge of the ministry as well. Let's keep an eye out on that. And, the portfolio that he will be handling is something that we have Health Ministry is what JP Nadda will be taking. Shri Jagat Prakash Nadda, Health Ministry, Health and Family Welfare, as well as Chemical and Fertilizer is the ministry charge that he's taking. And yes, he will be signing the documents shortly. But yes, you can see that update coming in there. But let's switch back and go back to the stocks that are I beg your pardon, the stock related queries that we have. And let me move on to the next query. And this one is from Veni, and it's on Lakshmi Chemicals. They're holding it at a price of 505 since the last 3 years. What's the word on the Shahina? What should they be doing? Continue to hold or maybe look to exit?
You're talking of Lakshmi Organic Chemicals,
Yes,
I believe,
yes,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So I would say that's in a consolidation phase, and I don't see too much happening for the at least next 6 months. So I would exit.
That's an exit coming in on Lakshmi Organics. But moving on, the next query that I have, Hemen, is coming from Naga Kumar. He's holding GSFC from a price of 240 rupees. What's your view? Is that a hold or sell?
I would say it's a hold, Shishti. GSFC has been not doing much, but I don't think it's a sell. We've had a move, we've had a time price retracement, test of the earlier bottom, and now it's beginning to stabilize. So about 235, things should start looking up. The daily picture is improving. I believe a short-term bottom probably has been made. So I would say hold. The level to worry in case things go awry would be 187. I believe above 235 things should look better.
We will quickly go back and see, we have JP Nadda, who is, taking charge right now. We can see he is talking as of now. He is the Minister of Health and Family Welfare, as well as taking charge of the Minister of Chemicals and Fertilizer. You can see that right now he is in conversation. But we will see if we do get in any quick bites from him, then we will take you all through that. But as of now, we have JP Nadda, who is taking charge of the ministry, the new ministry's portfolio that had been assigned just last evening. And we are seeing in the cabinet NDA 3.0, he's taking charge over there. Now, obviously, what we're watching out for is going to be in terms of Nadda had launched the mission Indradhanush, which was aimed at covering by 2020 children who either were unvaccinated or vaccinated against 7 diseases. So, yes, he had taken a lot of steps that you could see there. And JP Nadda was the BJP president for the past 5 years. Now he is leading on the health front and that is very important in terms of a portfolio that we are watching out for. And obviously, let's not forget that JP Nadda took over as the BJP president from Amit Shah, who joined the Modi cabinet as the Home Minister in May 2019. So, yes, an important update that is coming in there, and we're keeping an eye out on that because last 5 years he's been the party president and now going to be taking charge and as the Minister of Health, Family Welfare, as well as Chemicals and Fertilizers.
All right, so we will be keeping out for all the allocations that have been done today. But with this, let's kickstart taking your queries in the rapid fire session. And the first query that I have, Hemen, is coming in on JK Paper. Padma Rao is already holding 30 shares. Buy price is 400 rupees. What is the near-term target for this particular stock?
448.
Okay, keep an eye out on that level of 448. But Shahina, we have a viewer who wants to know on Lemon Tree. What is your view on this one? Can they look to enter right now at the current price?
Yes, they can enter. It's a good stock.
All right, Hemen, what's your view on Tata Motors? Sri Kishore Sharma is already holding the stock from 949 rupees. He wants to stay invested for the next 3 years. So what's your view?
1100.
Okay. We have answered this on L&T, but the viewer is holding 20 shares of L&T at a price of 3,274. Should they add more or maybe hold the Shahina?
They should hold it.
Okay, Shahina, do you like Muthoot Finance for a long-term investment, and is this a good price point to enter this counter? This query is from R. Ganesh.
Yes, you can enter at current levels.
Hemen, we have Alok who wants to know on Raymond. They bought it at 1,867. Hold or sell?
Book partial profit.
Okay, Shahina, what's your view on Prestige Estate? Smita Vikram is already holding the stock from 1,531 rupees. So for Prestige Estates, is that a hold or exit?
It's a hold.
Shahina, should Shrishti from Bangalore actually look to invest in Geo Financials for 1 to 2 years?
Yes, I think they are expanding well. Hold.
All right, moving on. The next query, Shahina, is coming from for SJS Enterprise. Peter from Trichy wants to know good stock to enter right now, wants to stay invested for the next 3 years.
I'll pass. I don't know this.
Hemen, we have a viewer, Poonam from Gurgaon, who's holding Praj Industries at 568. What is the advice on this one for the short term?
Short-term hold, expected target 632.
All right, but with this, viewers, it's time's up in this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. Thank you so much, Hemen, as well as Shahina, for joining us today and helping all our viewers with their stock-related queries. But with this, it's a goodbye from me and Winnie and the entire team of Put This Shit Together. Thank you so much for watching, but don't go anywhere. Marcus and Noon will take the action ahead.